Okay, welcome. This will be our July 10th Town Council meeting. Could I have a roll call, please?
Morris?
Yes.
Cole?
Here.
Edwards?
Here.
Lee?
Here.
Passanella?
Present.
Aiken?
Here. All right, our first order is our invocation. We're going to be led by Councilman Chris Morris. If we could all stand and continue standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the privilege and opportunity that we have to be able to gather together. We pray and ask for your wisdom. We thank you for the privilege that we have to gather freely and to be able to share views and to vote. Father, we thank you for this great nation. We pray for our troops. We pray for our security personnel, our police departments. And Lord, we thank you for the freedom that we have, that as citizens we can live in a place where we still have rights. So Father, as we continue through the rest of this meeting, we pray for your guidance and for your counsel. And we thank you again for loving us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Great.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, great. Our next item is our citizens' time. This will be a chance for any of the citizens to address the council. Just for your name and record address, if you could state that, if we have anybody that would like to speak to the council. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our next. This will be our public hearing. If there's no objections, I'm going to go ahead and open our public hearing. SUP 2015-001, the renewal for St. Michael's Academy modular classrooms at 6738 Fayette Street. And at this time, I'll open the dais to anybody who would like to speak in favor or against this SUP. Now would be the time, and there again, if you could just state your name and address for the record.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
My name is Lori Crockett. I am the principal at St. Michael's Academy. I live at 712 Black Sweep Road in Warrenton, Virginia. Our school would just like to ask that we're allowed to renew the SUP for our modular unit so that we can continue to service the number of children that we have in the past. Without the modular, we would lose probably about 100 students, give or take. And that's with siblings who go to other places within the building, not just in that particular unit itself. But it would cause a hardship for families. So we're just asking for the renewal.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your comments there. Anybody else would like to speak regarding this matter? Last call. All right. If no objections, I'm going to go ahead and close our public hearing. Our next item on the agenda is our acceptance of minutes. We have our June 5th. I just noted one.
Are you going to do that? Fix the name?
Yes, I was just going to mention, Danielle, you corrected that. Yes, great. All right. There was one name for one of the citizens' comments.
To be corrected from Linda Turner.
Yeah, Maria Turner versus Linda Turner.
Yeah.
Move to accept the minutes.
Okay.
Second.
And second by Councilwoman Edwards. Discussion on the motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I had a couple of comments that I sent to the clerk of the council, and I'm okay with the minutes as long as I have the additional comments in there.
What?
And it had to do with the budget. In here, it says, it was pretty limited, and I expounded a little bit more. I talked about a couple of different issues, going over 14. I wanted the document itself to be entered into the record. It was subsequently entered into the record, but I'd asked that be entered in as well. So, and I'd sent that over to Danielle.
Okay.
Oh, there was one other thing also. When we were talking about item number 6, Resolution 2017-007, the policy that we'll talk about later, I did ask that we consider the FOIA guidance as we go forward. That wasn't in the package, so that might be something we might want to take a look at to crosswalk against to see how that policy relates to what we want to do and perhaps what other communities are doing.
And just for clarification, so that'd be what page on the minutes that we're going to,
Packet page 10,
okay?
bottom. And on to the next page. So just a mention about the FOIA document. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion on the motion?
So it was the budget information and then adding FOIA
Correct.
to the, okay. Okay with that? Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstention? Carried unanimous. All right, our next item is our department reports.
There,
Yes.
could I request that we maybe move up item 9.1? And otherwise, they've got to sit through all these.
Sure, sure. Actually, I did want to talk about that, too. If no objection, we can definitely rearrange the agenda to, no objection.
No objection.
Okay, great. So we have our SUP 2015 through renewal. We have, enclosed in our packet is our planner's, I guess, condensed version of it. There's also, I passed out just here, is some background or history that kind of tells where we've been on this, starting back with the letter dated May 27, 2008. This information, obviously, I don't think we've obviously read. For some of those that have been on the council for this long, kind of remember this in history of when it first came in front of the council. But I would ask that after hearing our public, which the comments, that if we could have a chance to look at this, and it could be either tonight, right now, or it could be that we table it and bring this up for a vote at our next meeting. So I just think there's information in here that we should all be looking through and making sure we understand and have all this information.
Having been on council when this first came to us, the main concerns were traffic. And basically, the special use permit was issued under the proviso that if there were traffic issues, there was congestion at certain times of the day, that would be enough to revoke the special use. I don't think traffic has been an issue. I don't think we've had any complaints about it. This is coming out from the school. So that was our main concern back in 2008.
Good. Okay. I noticed, like, and there again, I had to remember history here, that, you know, there was a specific time frame that the application first came in. That there was there were concerns that you can see as far as the minutes back in 2011 and 14, that some of these same concerns about the traffic plans, it also, that looks like the definite intent was temporary. It was something that, you know, that at that time we went from having to revisit it every year. If you look at some of the council or prior council's concerns or thoughts, that it would come back every year. But go ahead, I'm sorry, Mrs. Edwards.
I feel like, Ms. Crockett, how long have you been the principal?
Since June 15th.
Okay, so very short time. So I feel like she just came in here and she's like, what?
Well, I've been employed by the school.
Oh, why don't you go ahead now? I'm sorry. Yeah, come up to the mic there.
I've been employed by the school since 2011, so I am familiar with the
Oh,
history
okay.
of it. Yes, absolutely. So in fact, I was one of the first people to ever work in the modular unit itself.
I think part of the question is when it was originally brought that construction on an addition was supposed to start within 2 years, and that was 2008. So is that still a plan? Is this more of a permanent building now?
We're actually in the process of purchasing our own building in Midtown to move the campus to. However, that will not be ready for at least another year.
I'm sorry, where?
Vent Hill.
Vent
Oh,
Hill.
Vin Hill, okay.
Yes. So that would encompass both the elementary and the preschool. So both campuses would move.
Gotcha.
So what is can I?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go right ahead.
Okay, so you're going to be moving to Vin Hill eventually.
Oh,
What's-
yes,
What's your target for doing that?
It would be sometime in the year of 2000. We were hoping for summer of 2018. There's some work that needs to be done to a road, Blue Out Road, before we can move in through VDOT. So it's probably looking like sometime in 2019.
Sometime in 19.
So 2 years.
So 2 to 3 years,
Yeah.
roughly. Right, because you're asking, I think the Planning Commission recommended 3 years?
Correct. I
correct?
spoke to Chairman Cottle, and the commission, instead of coming back every year,
Right.
they sent to the council for a 3-year. Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You say you're in the process of purchasing it.
Yes, we have a realtor. We have a company we're working with, and we've actually had a contract on the property.
You currently have a contract on the property, and it's been accepted, it's
It has
just,
not been accepted,
okay,
so. But
You've
we are
made
in
an offer.
negotiations, yes.
okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I
So,
can.
and we've also had like an architect come out and look at the space and just making sure it fits our needs, and so we're kind of stuck in red tape.
What's your current enrollment?
Right now at the preschool, we have about 145 students, I believe.
So
But
you
it's-
guys are catering to 145 kids.
Yeah, at the preschool, yes.
How many employees?
Employees at our preschool, we probably have a little over 20. And that includes part-time employees that are just there through maybe 4 hours a day.
In your opinion, are there any concerns with traffic, parking, drop-off of the kids?
We've been there since, well, I mean, since it was teaching the basics, I guess, back in 2008. So as far as I know, the traffic has remained the same throughout the years. It can be congested right at drop-off and pickup time. But that's true with the same of all the other preschools along the street. So,
And as far as your projection,
yeah, our enrollment's not going to change. We cannot, our enrollment's not going to grow in that building.
Part of the SUP is 147 max, right?
147, yeah. I'm thinking, I know that our, let's see, I'm trying to think what our enrollment is currently, because it fluctuates tremendously during the summer. We service about 65 to 68 children in the modular, and then we might have, I take that back, it's probably 145 with staff, because we have about 65 to 70 maybe within the modular, and that's the max that it can hold per room size. And then we have maybe another 60 or so, 60 to 70 within the main building.
so the hope of the school is to get out and to grow.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the hope of
it's
the
not
school.
going to contain, yeah.
So as far as you know, this is not something that's going
this
to
is
come
not-
before us every year.
No, this is not our permanent home.
Okay.
Our goal is to move and have both of our campuses under one roof.
So
It's
in
not
in
ideal.
essence, it would be beneficial from the council to approve this for you as you wait to see where else you could move to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we love Haymarket, but it's not ideal for us to have two split campuses. That model doesn't work, that business model. It's ideal to have a school where your elementary and your preschool are all under one roof.
Mr. Mayor, is it possible to address the Chief of Police?
Sure, absolutely.
Chief Lance, have you noticed any issues of concern, especially during the times where there's heavy traffic with drop-offs? Because I know you guys have been out there a lot, especially in the mornings, just doing regular patrols.
We have staggered drop-off times, too. So we have some children who are involved, like in an early care program, some that arrive at 8, some that arrive, if they're 3, they arrive at 8:30, if they're 4, they arrive at 8, and then they don't all leave at the same time. We have children who are there that can be released from 12:30 all the way until 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
I noticed also that in the mornings, it seems like there is parking over on the other property, which we refer to as behind here. Is that staff, or is that people that,
That's staff.
staff? Okay. So I assume that you've got permission or have spoke to,
As far as I know. But I can double-check on that for you.
yeah,
Please.
yeah,
I will be happy to.
yeah, okay. All right.
Mr. Mayor, if I could address
Yes.
you with the concern in asking us to read this. With with what we just heard and this being an opportunity to help a school, do you still think it's beneficial to read through what happened since 2008?
Well, I think it's important to find out where we are today. You know, in other words, this was back in 2008. That was supposed to be a 3-year term, temporary, defined as temporary. I'm not sure how you even define temporary. I'm sure there's a, you know, and.
It's not permanent.
Right, and it looks like there was funding that was supposed to be occurring, that they were waiting for the funding. I don't know how that's, you know, but it's really not our purview. I mean, but there's a certain, I guess, you know, a path here that we've gone down, and just understand that, you know, is there an end? I mean, each year we continue to extend this SUP. So I think my concern is that we all know or have the background of the issues, and to see were there any new issues or anything that we need to address. As a council, I don't believe that even Steve, since we've been on, that has never been, you know, that
No one's-
concern, right? Is there concerns that how long does something temporary go before it's permanent? You know, and I think that would be a legal question. Is there anything that we're missing here as far as we continue to renew this every year, and how many years before? Yeah.
In my opinion, sir, it seems as if there is some movement on as it relates to the school. So,
And that's good. That's a very good positive thing, yeah. So I just want to make sure everybody feels comfortable with their, you know, that, because this was just, you know, put together this evening, you know, to look at the property commission. I kind of wish, you know, this would have been, because this is all documents of our minutes and stuff like that, that would have been included in the packet. But, you know, as we know, we just have a new planner that didn't list all that. He kind of put a synopsis of there, so.
Can I ask the attorney?
Sure.
What, is there can we just continue doing SUPs on the same property? Is there any
limitations?
limitation? Yeah, I don't,
Without looking at what the conditions that were imposed on the prior SUP, I can't really tell you, because I would have to look at it to be
Okay.
able to tell you what it says, but that's where I would start, would be looking at the existing conditions and what they say with regard to renewal.
I personally just don't want this to be a forever thing. I don't have a problem with accommodating them so they can get to the place that they need to be. I don't have a problem with that. But I just don't want to be 3 years from now and we're back here again.
Well, yeah, I think, and there again, we have to look at it, 3 years was just a recommendation by the planning
Right.
commission. We could continue with our 1-year renewals, which it sounds like
Yeah.
maybe another year, you might,
I would say
Have
2,
a
just to
better
be on the
direction.
safe side.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're looking, I would say 2, to be on the
Right.
safe
Well,
side.
when does this SUP expire?
August.
August. It was a
There really
3-year.
isn't a lot of time to extend. I mean, we have to make a decision sooner
Oh, yeah.
rather than later.
Yep.
And they're not going to be moving anytime soon, at least within the next year. So at a minimum,
Right.
you would need a year, and it sounds like it's probably going to be closer to 2,
Yeah.
given
There will be-
negotiation and
And
construction.
and permits for
Right.
relocation.
Yep. Okay. All right. There again, if you all feel comfortable moving
I
forward.
feel very comfortable moving
Okay.
forward. I just
Then-
don't see the point in, I mean, the school is doing good in the community. It's not a hindrance as far as the safety is concerned. It's not a hindrance to us. So even if we have to, you know, renew a SUP for the next 3 years to accommodate a school in our community, you know, this year's presentation is different from last year. Last year, there was nothing on the table as far as, okay, we've looked at this property, we've placed an order. They are moving forward. And you've heard from them that they've said that they can't move forward and they can't grow unless they get a new property.
Yeah, we're at a holding place with the current.
We can just get you under the mic, sir. I apologize if, yeah.
I was just going to say that elementary school is moving, actually, they're going to be over in Ben Hill Farms this September. So they're definitely moving in that
Right.
direction.
Okay. Councilman Aiken.
I have no problem moving forward tonight. However, I'd recommend we pull it back to 1 year so that we can verify next year that enough progress has been made for the move to extend it again, as opposed to everything fall apart and they start from square one again. Otherwise, we give them 3 years, then we have no leverage until 3 years go by.
I think that's wise.
All right.
Gorbachev move, right?
Well,
Trust but verify.
well, the 3 years is just a proposal from the Planning Commission. We're just looking at 1 year.
I mean, let's face it, we're not going to say no to a year because it would be too disruptive now. I mean, I don't know what you would do for the,
It would
right?
be detrimental.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a motion, Mr. Aiken?
We do have a suggested motion on our single handout here. No? Oh, okay. Then, yeah, I would like to, well, actually, we probably should all look at it.
Well, he's going to read it.
He's going
Okay,
to read
all right.
So is he going to change? the
Well, I
date?
think what we need to make sure and see what was actually suggested there, whether it kept the planning commission's recommendation or if it's,
Or we can
leaves
change-
it blank.
Or we can change the date.
Yep.
It's in paragraph 8. And that would be 1 year after the end of August. So, August, how many days are in August?
30th of September. 31.
Do I need to read all of it?
So, 31 August 2018.
Do I need to read all of it?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think for us to understand what
All right, let's go.
everybody's agreeing to here.
Is it going to be clear that there's nothing, without seeing the conditions in the special use permit, that they don't say some conflicted, that they don't say?
that they're not
So maybe
conflicting.
just that the conditions be
Maybe you
altered
should draft-
accordingly.
Maybe you should
to
draft a
match-
motion then.
Well, no, just that to the
No, you're
extent,
right.
to the
You're right,
extent,
because the only-
to the extent there's anything in the special use permit conditions that's in conflict with what you're saying, we will amend the conditions accordingly.
Why don't we just get
without
last
seeing
year? Why
it,
don't we just get last year's motion and just read it?
That probably is.
Because, yeah,
Yeah.
No, that's,
Yeah. Danielle, do you know, did Martin draft this? Not sure? Okay.
Which one?
Here.
Okay.
yeah, it's right here.
It's right here.
It's here.
Oh, yeah, and part of my thing here, so here would be back in 2014.
But you're not approving it, they're approving the renewal of it.
Just renewing.
Yeah.
Right.
And did it provide for 1 year
Yes.
renewals? It did? Okay, well then, so you're good.
Yeah.
I thought it
Okay.
might have provided for something, a period other than 1 year.
So he needs to draft this or correct this by saying, move the council approve. Would be this SUP.
Is the SUP, does it expire beginning of the month or the end of the month?
Last day.
The last day of August? Okay. I mean, just a suggestion, we do have a meeting in August? Or would that be too late for us to get this all done, or can we do it tonight?
I think we should do
if
it.
we vote no tonight and vote no in August, it's going to be disastrous no
Right.
matter.
Okay,
no matter
so
what.
maybe
They
we
need
should
to be
take a 10-minute recess and write something up
I'm
here.
fine. I'm fine with that, too.
If that's enough time, or
31st, 2018.
we could wait until.
You want me to try to give you the
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then we'll
Yeah.
do a,
Mr. Mayor, we know that we're going to approve it for 1 year.
Yes.
Whether or not we wait a month and get the proper wording shouldn't matter.
yeah, I think she can.
I think I
she
can
can
wait
draft
it for you.
Can we go ahead and take reports?
She's a professional.
Is that the correct SUP number right
No,
there?
no, she's actually going to read it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that the correct SUP number?
That would have been for the one that was approved, yes, in 2014.
Okay.
Form of the motion, please.
Okay. All right. The form of the motion will be move that the town council approve the renewal of SUP 2014-0328, St. Paul's School for temporary operation of an early learning center school and temporary use of a classroom trailer at 6735 Fayette Street, subject to conditions of approval dated June 2, 2014, with the further clarification that the renewal is effective until August 31st, 2018.
So moved.
There you go, so moved.
We'll second that.
Second by Councilman Aiken. Discussion on this.
Double check the number of students, that's the only thing that would change.
Yeah, because I had one
It'd still be 147.
SUP 2015-001
Was it 147 in 2014?
renewal.
Yeah, our enrollment hasn't changed.
Okay, so that's,
It's the same number of classrooms, the same number of children.
This is March. Extension.
We're checking the number for
I think
clarification.
that sounds right, because it's a renewal.
yeah.
Just for clarification, the correct SUP number is 2015-001, renewal.
Okay. Further discussion on the motion. We had, the original was no more than 135. Obviously, that changed.
Yeah, that did
Right.
change.
There also
But
was
those
a,
are- does that include staff? Those aren't,
Yeah, does
No,
that-
students.
Students.
135
students.
but
They have
that's only
20
2008.
staff.
Yeah. we
right,
have
well, the
about 20
original
students.
staff was supposed to be 15. No more than,
Well, we have some people who come in, like high schoolers who come in and work maybe from 3 to 6. So if you
Okay.
count part-time employees who come in,
I don't think it's an issue.
Yeah.
We're going to have a definition for employees, for some of the contractors.
any other, sure.
The planning commission approved it with the condition that it will not exceed 145 students. They just decided to go with the higher number.
Okay, thank you for that clarification there. Any further discussion on the motion? Any further clarification? All right, we're going to go roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Passanella?
Aye.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Good luck.
Okay. See you in the year. Yeah. All right, let's go back to our department reports, our town planner that we have. See if we have any questions. Unfortunately, we're having our town manager watch us via website this evening. Yeah, we could all say hi to Ms. Kimberly.
Kimberly?
Are you sure she's watching?
Yes, I'm positive. I'll bet you whatever you'd like to bet. If our internet is up. Yeah. Yeah.
She's on open.
Again, if there is something that pops out, we'll just note it to Danielle to have a follow-up.
The engineer dealing with the wall?
Yes,
It's in there. We'll get there.
Oh, and town manager, okay.
Yep.
You're not going to be happy.
Really?
Just saying.
Let him find out.
No other questions, concerns? Okay. Moving on to our town engineers report.
Is SFD Foundation, what is this?
Single-family dwelling.
Single family dwelling, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Chief, I'm sorry, you had your hand up. Did you have a concern?
I don't know where the VDOT update falls. Ms. Murray asked me to get that.
Great. We'll make sure we hold off for you, and then we'll have you update it with that.
Mr. Mayor, I know this may be small, but does it cost us to print in color?
It does cost us to print in color. Yes, it does.
I don't see why we need it in color.
Sometimes things are important in color.
It's important.
Yeah. The copies are all in black and white, just to let you know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the dice, I think, was color.
Sorry, the frugal side of me just came on.
Any further questions or thoughts regarding the engineers?
Yes, just want to extend congratulations and thank you to the Eagle Scout.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Looks like you did a very good job with the sewer drains.
I've had a lot of people
Yeah.
say something about them too, so.
And hopefully people will heed the advice, not dump anything there.
I was in the town of Vienna on the 4th of July, and they also have them on their storm drains, so it was nice to see.
We should extend our thanks, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing further with the engineers. We'll move on to the building officials' report.
I had a question about this, at Century Stair.
So we're on page number,
Ms. Kiefsky, if you could ask the building official on packet page 18, about the installation of whole building dust removal. And it says the ARB is considering exterior screening. To my knowledge, we have not seen anything on that. Could we check with him on that, please? Thank you.
you would say ARB to consider. Yeah. Assumption there.
So that's, the permit was issued in February, so,
Is it done?
yeah.
Is it done?
No, it's open until February of 18. They have a year, so just don't want it to get lost.
Okay, so noted. Any other questions, concerns? All right, moving along. Chief Lands. Good evening, sir.
I'll just start off with the VDOT update, and then before I go into mine. I talked to Lane Construction today, and they're going to be paving the first coat of the 1555 intersection tonight. They're going to shut down the roads. There'll be intermittent traffic control through there. And then next week, they're going to do the final surface paving of the intersection and also put up all the permanent street lights. Their completion date, the contract states that they have to be done by August the 8th. Ally said that that is what they're telling everyone because that's what the contract says, but I suspect that they may be done a little sooner than that. So that we're moving on. She said things will start moving really, really fast now. You'll start seeing a lot of the finishing touches.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question about that. Can I ask
Absolutely.
you? Since the new medians come in, have you all witnessed the abhorrent driving of the people exiting Sheets and making a wide turn around the island to go back west on 55?
I haven't.
We're also trying to monitor, since there's still construction right now, it's kind of hard to try to get around the construction vehicles plus the new medians, so we're trying to work with the public as best as possible.
It was a little crazy today going around there, so just,
We'll keep an eye on that. We'll
yeah.
try to-
And also, I don't know if they're going to have a sign that says no left turn coming out of like Sheets going that way, because
Yeah, that might help.
I don't know if it'll
And
help.
I was of the understanding that that median would continue in
It would be
a smaller
farther.
section all the way up to, and if you look
Correct.
at the road, you see it's cut about a path this wide in a curved section just before you get to Chick-fil-A.
Yes, sir.
And I think that, and I understand, they will continue that
Okay.
median all the
I
way
was like-
through, but I'm not sure.
I know, I was a little today, I was like, oh, I thought that was going to be a
Well, you
longer
can see
median.
the big median there is starting to narrow itself
Mm-hmm.
down. Today they put a new section in, and it looks like it's getting smaller in there. So my thought
I'm
My
hoping.
understanding was that it was going to continue all the way through.
But they won't
in
be
a
able
smaller
to,
version.
right, that they won't be able to do that, so.
So I don't know
hope.
that.
Well-
I mean, at some point, you're going to have to
But until
be
you-
able to turn into
Yeah,
sheets.
yeah, you're not going to, until you can get out of Sheets from the south side onto 55, people are going to turn left. Because that's the only way out. So,
Unless
I
they go
mean,
down and turn around and
and that's
They
going
have to
to
right-
possibly be worse. So, I mean.
I don't know, it's just a little scary today,
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, you've
I'll
got to.
mention that to the construction crew, see if I can get some kind of resolution on what they're going to do, and
Yeah.
maybe even set out some barrels for the time being.
Right,
Cones,
barrels,
yeah.
signs, something. Okay.
But I don't think they'll be able to go out to the south end until they're done
That's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
fall.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a while.
So it'll be a while, yeah.
You know, and I pity the poor guy who drives his U-Haul in there. You know,
Right.
because now they're trapped.
Yeah, they're going to have to turn right and turn around in the Food Line parking lot or something like that.
All right, go ahead with your report, sir.
All right, you got the statistics for the month. Any questions on those? You can see 470 town business checks, which was requested on there, as well as the out-of-town calls for service. You're seeing those as well. Any questions on that? All right, going down what we did for the month. It was a very busy month for the Haymarket Police Department. Officer O'Neill and myself met with QBE. They're going to allow us to use their property for the National Night Out activities. It's, in my opinion, a lot better location, a lot safer location, and offers more grassy area and a playground to play on for the kids. They've agreed to sponsor it for us, in the fact that they're going to get the dunk tank for us. They're going to get a bounce house for us. They're going to get another little type ride with also some snow cones, and so they've been a great partner in this. We can't wait for that. I think Corey has put together something really good in this event, and he's been working hard on that as my community relations officer. So he's been doing real well in QBE. We have another meeting with them on Wednesday to finalize all the details. We're expecting to have a good time. We won't see the council again until after that meeting, so please come out to National Night Out, August the 1st. That's the first Tuesday. And then I guess we'll see you that
They continue to, it's going to be one of the stops with the county?
yes, sir, they'll still come out.
Good.
I think Officer O'Neill's been in contact with them, and they know the new location.
Great.
So, and I believe Corey will be in the Duncan booth.
Wow.
Or no, I think it's actually going to be myself.
Chief was
Yeah,
gonna be.
it'll be
there.
myself.
Yeah.
It's a tradition for the
Yeah.
chief of police.
So we're hoping to have a really good turnout and have a good time. I think it'll be better over there. And
Don't forget, we've had council members in the Duncan booth in the past.
Yep.
It's much more fun with the
who can I write down now? Who's
Mayor,
The mayor.
mayor, Connor.
Okay.
He's not here.
That's why you can name it.
As far as the vehicle tamperings in the Green Hill Crossing area, I can tell you without giving a whole lot of information that we have a solid suspect. We know who did it. They've already admitted to it. We just have to lock everything down and take out charges. So just to give you that information, and it hasn't gotten all the way there yet, but we are very positive that we know and what's going to happen with that.
Are you able to say if it's an adult?
It's an adult.
Okay. Good.
A younger adult and crew. So, we also did the Longstreet Commons water battle. I have that on there because if you saw the Facebook page, you see that it went viral. 580-some thousand viewers.
500,000.
on there.
That's
It was
incredible.
just been shared and shared and shared and shared well outside the town. It was a really good time. We had a great time with the kids. A great way for us to connect with them. And when I drove back through the neighborhood at 8 o'clock that night, I went over to the playground, and I had 20, 25 kids run up to the car. And Chief Lands, and they all knew and remembered from the water fight. And we just developed some really good relationships with the kids over there. And they now know myself and Sergeant Shaver for sure. Next year we plan on bringing the entire crew with a whole bunch more water than we had this
Oh,
time.
there you go.
It was a good time. The car show went off a couple weeks ago. It went off well. Corey planned everything about the show. What he didn't plan for was it to be so successful. I mean, it went. We were figuring on about 40 cars, and we ended up with over 120 cars.
Is that a lack
in
of
there.
faith?
What's that?
Lack of faith?
I don't know. I think Corey had faith in this thing from the beginning. He really knew it was going to take off, and the contacts that he made just reached out to other people, and it just got big. And I had a lot of people stop in the office the week after and say they really liked it. They want us to do another one, whether we do one in the fall or wait till next year. I don't know. We have a lot of stuff going on. But we raised over $2,000 for fallen officers' families. And we'll be presenting that check to Prince William County's Fallen Officer Memorial Fund at some point this month, next 2 weeks, and it'll be a big check, one of those, dummy checks, and I'll post that everywhere. So, it was a great success. And if you came out, you saw, and Councilmember Cole
There's
came
definitely a
out
winning car that didn't
with
get
his
selected.
Honda that wasn't even washed. It was 1992, and entered the car show. Thank you for donating. You didn't stand a chance winning. Yeah. But we appreciate that. Councilman Leak came out and helped us the about 2-3 hours before set up. I saw Councilman Morrison Passanello there. Appreciate everybody's support and coming out and helping us. It was a really good time. You see on there the Rainbow Station. They asked us to come down with a couple cars and let the younger kids run around in the cars. Well, there were some young kids that were still in preschool that could barely walk, but they had a good time. We took pictures with all the kids. They're not necessarily inside our community, but just outside, and we were able to be there for them and help them do that since Prince William is tied up on a lot of things. So we had a great time doing that. The women's self-defense class went great. We sold out again. We had over 60 women down there. Councilman Cole's wife was there to help with the carried to full term. She was the representative there. We were able to give her a check for $300 or what we charged a $5 fee for each lady, and donated all the proceeds to Carried to Full Term. So that was a success. We had a great time. Next Level Fitness really stepped up when they let us use their building. It was a great facility. It had plenty of room, and all the officers came in and helped out, and we had really good reviews on that. So another class down, and really another big win for the community policing goal that we're trying to do. The last thing in the points of interest I want to point out is we haven't talked about it yet, but maybe we were. The speed table went up. We had lots and lots of praises from Ms. Alonje back here. But we did have several people complain that it was too big and their cars were scraping. I got to tell you that honestly, before they marked it, it was quite comical to see people coming across that thing very fast, and some of them were going airborne. We were like, are they going to mark this? Because we weren't really sure, but they did just a couple days later. And I can tell you that my officers have monitored that street as hard as we were prior, and you saw all the updates, and we have seen. It'd be very, very difficult to speed on that road now. If you hit that going any speed, And all the warning markings and signs are there. People are really heeding them. So I'd say it did a fantastic job. It's doing exactly what you intended it to do.
Right, and let me state here, in case people are making comments, that speed table didn't cost the town a dime. Right. That was free to the town. So, if anybody wants to question council's priorities and money, it was free to us. So thanks to Pete Candlin for that speed table.
And I did post it on our Facebook page and with a warning that, hey, this is new, be on the lookout for it. And we had a lot of comments. Like I said, some of them were negative about how it was damaging their cars or could damage their cars. Now, granted, I drive an SUV issued by the town, but I did it at 5 miles over what the speed table says you should do it, which is 15. Both ways, 10 times. I never scraped at all. So I guess if you had a lower, like, non-stock vehicle, you would definitely scrape.
Stuck.
Right. Or get stuck in the middle. But to me, it's really doing its job.
Yeah, well, I drive a Miata, and I do not scrape.
Okay.
It's stock.
All right, now on to officer highlights. I've already gone over the car show, so Corey, again, did that car show, and he did a fantastic job. He came to me with it when I first got here and said, do you think this is something that you'd want to do? And I said, run with it. I don't have a lot of time, but please run with it yourself, and he did, and it turned out fantastic. So good job to Corey for doing that. I want to talk about the Virgin Diamond and the traffic light event that we had. When all the lights in the Diamond went down, and we ended up having to call almost every single officer in. And I just want to really give props to the officers. They came in, they responded immediately, nobody complained. And I'm glad that it happened because it allowed us to see how we need to direct that area when all the lights go down. It ran smooth. I had people on our Facebook page stating that they got through there faster than when the lights were working. Yeah, one person said VDOT could take instruction from Haymarket PD on how to direct traffic through there. And I think they meant Lane Construction, not VDOT. But it went very, very smooth. And we were out there for several hours and never had an issue. Yes, sir.
So with that, actually, how many officers does it take to man it when it goes down?
You can do it unsafely with two. And that's what we had in the very beginning. But that was, you can't watch everything with two guys, so you need at least four, and that's just to cover the interior of the Diamond. A fifth guy down at 15 and 55 was helpful once we had enough officers in to do that, and then a sixth guy down at Heathcote and was helpful too. Now we never did get to that point. They finally fixed the lights before then, but especially in rush hour, you're going to need at least four to do it. I'd say safely 5 in order to also catch the light at 15 and 55.
Okay.
So I just want to commend the guys for that and all the community spirit that the guys have shown. They've really gotten into this, and your officers have really stepped up in everything they're doing. And last but not least, Corey, if you could stand up here, come up here with me. I know you guys in the rundown you saw where we had an abduction in the county, and Officer O'Neill was instrumental in solving that. So I want to really recognize him, and I want to read you an email that was sent to me by a supervisor at Prince William County Police Department. It says, Chief Lands, I just wanted to inform you of the excellent work exhibited by one of your officers, Officer O'Neill. When we were searching for a suspect wanted for burglary, strangulation, assault and battery, and grand larceny, a be on the lookout for the vehicle he was last seen in was given. Officer O'Neill circulated the area and found the vehicle in the Walmart parking lot and marked out with it. Officer O'Neill then set up a perimeter around the Walmart and the immediate area until the K-9 unit was able to arrive on scene. We were attempting to review surveillance video from Walmart to determine if the subject entered the Walmart or fled on foot elsewhere. While we were in the process of entering the Walmart to search for the subject, I asked Officer O'Neill to stay with the vehicle. Soon after, Officer O'Neill spotted our wanted subject approaching from behind the coals in the area of the loading docks. He immediately challenged the subject, who complied, and he took him into custody. If it wasn't for the due diligence and excellent observation skills of Officer O'Neill, this case would not have had the successful conclusion that it did. Officer O'Neill stated that he was familiar with the subject and had previous contact with him. I wanted to pass on to you our appreciation at the Prince William Police Department and to let you know that we are always grateful for the good working relationship we have with your department. Again, I commend Officer O'Neill for his fine work, and I am confident that he will inevitably assist us again in the future. And we all know that, if you know Corey, because he will go help the county when they need help. Again, I give him a lot of credit for what he did. If it wasn't for O'Neill, they would not have solved that case. abduction, strangulation, assault and battery, big case. And our officers assisting the county ended up breaking the case for him. So I just wanted to say that. All right, that's all I have. Is there any questions?
Just one statement. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to point out that when I came on council 5+ years ago, that we would not have received a letter like that from Prince William County. That this is due to the hard work of not just Chief Lands, but prior chiefs we've had in rebuilding our department in the last 3 years, just off the top of my head. And I just want to state in front of everyone that this hard work is paying off, and the county is turning around how they view us.
Good job.
Absolutely.
Good comments.
All right. Yep. Questions for the chief? Anyone else? All
One
right.
quick, can I do one
Sure,
quick?
absolutely.
In one of your daily reports, you said that the, what do you call them, the sensors in the streets with the paving weren't working. Has that all been remedied up at the intersection, or will it be remedied before?
It should be, yes.
Okay.
It wasn't remedied up to last Friday when we had an officer out there at 3 different times directing
Okay.
traffic. But what they said was that it was tied into the box too tightly, and when they opened the box to work on another section of the lights, it tripped that one.
Okay.
So what we're talking about is the lights that tell you that the train is coming.
Right.
And when those are on, it just,
Shuts
when
it
it
down.
trips down at the tracks, it trips that light, and then it shuts the entire 15 section that's going
Yeah.
down that way. And so, yes, that Ally said today that they think that they have that solved.
Okay.
So,
It's called signal preemption.
right.
And it's supposed to go green so that nobody's stuck on the crossing. So hopefully it's working that way.
What it ended up doing was completely red lighting everything going down the hill. And so they were just, nothing was coming, it wasn't a train, and they were just stopped.
Right, might have been
You
a
know,
circuit problem.
One guy, I think last time, before they called us, it was like 35 minutes, apparently people sat. That's one caller said 35 minutes.
So were the gates were up, they weren't failed positions?
Gates were up,
They didn't
just
fail?
the lights were preempting.
Oh, the traffic lights, right?
The traffic.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it. All right, next up, Ms. Denise Andrews.
Good evening, council. Good evening, Mayor. I'm just going to go over a few updates. I think our last council meeting was right before our health and fitness event, so I just want to thank everyone that came out for that event. It was a great event, a nice warm 89 degrees. So our misting tent in the museum courtyard got plenty of use. I'd also like to say, out of the 42 vendors that participated in that event, the following Monday, the application for Haymarket Day opened, and 30 of those vendors turned back around to participate in Haymarket Day. So it's really nice to see vendors participate in one event and just turn back around and participate in the next event. And I think it's also piggybacking off the success of our huge Haymarket Day last year with over 25,000 in attendance. Also, our next business roundtable is going to be Wednesday, July 19th. Our business owner, Brett Fry, who owns Tobaccology, will be hosting that event, and that will be from 8:30 a.m. to approximately 9:30 a.m. We're going to discuss Haymarket Day, of course. Police, Chief Lands will give some updates about the police department and also about the changes and the new businesses that may be coming into the town. So that will be up for discussion at that next roundtable. And just to go into some Haymarket updates, it states on here that as of June 30th, we had received 81 applications, but as of today, we are at the 100 mark. In 30 days, we've received 100 applications for Haymarket Day, collecting over $21,000 in vendor booth fees. So we are way ahead of last year. And also, I want to say that we will probably have a cutoff for the first time. We will actually have to cut off our vendor participation.
Yeah.
Do you have a number, Denise, that you're thinking, or?
I'm thinking 245. Yeah, we're already 100, and we are receiving applications every day that we're processing. And also on that note, we are moving forward into receiving online payments for our vendor applications, and not just for that, but also for building permits, B-poll, real estate taxes. We're looking to move forward and be able to have our residents and people who participate in events be able to pay online.
So that'll be a link off our website, I assume?
Correct.
Yeah.
That will be a link off our website, and they'll be able
To
to.
a secure site that then,
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So we are definitely moving forward with that. Next, this coming Wednesday, July 12th, will be our next meeting for Haymarket Day. So we will have a meeting here in Town Hall. Bring your lunch, 12 noon, for that meeting. And that is open to the public as well. And something that I did not list on here is I was able to attend the TANV meeting 2 weeks ago. Yes, and I gave the mayor a little update, so I want to update everyone else. It was a it was a good meeting. It was hosted by the George Mason Enterprise Center. Susan, I believe her last name is Susan Klein. She is the director of the Mason Enterprise, which is an incubator in Western Loudoun County. And she gave a lot of interesting information about the incubator system and how it works. And they're currently working with over 120 businesses there, where a small startup business can go and grow, and they have a 3-year window to get their business up and running to move on to their own storefront. And what's nice is the town of Leesburg actually has an office in that incubator space, where once that business is up and ready to run and have their own storefront, then the town helps assist in finding a location within the town so they don't leave the area and go to some other jurisdiction or something like that. So it's a great way to keep those new startup businesses in your town. Let's see. Also, a correction on one of the upcoming events. School of Rock will be hosting their ribbon cutting ceremony this Saturday, July 15th. I will be sending out an email to council, as well as we'll be posting it on our Facebook page. They'll have the ribbon cutting ceremony that, I believe it's in the afternoon on Saturday the 15th. So that's this coming Saturday. And also I'm excited because the museum just purchased a 360 camera, which we will use to show some of the exhibits inside the museum, as well as use it for our events. And we can live stream it so people can see all the action that's going on our events. I mean, we really want to start promoting our events and letting people know about Haymarket Day and all the other events as well as the exhibits at the museum.
okay.
So if council has any questions at this time?
Okay.
Do we have-
Councilwoman Edwards.
Do we have a theme for Haymarket Day?
It is everyone's hometown, and we have 3 kind of nominations for our grand marshal, so I kind of want to put that out to council and let you get your input on those 3 nominations. So I don't really want to say it at this time.
Okay.
Understood, yeah. Other questions? That's right. Yeah. Questions for Denise? We're good? Good, all right, great, thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Roberto. Good evening, sir.
For this month, we have the May 31st financials. During this month, the past month, after a meeting with the council, we presented the amendment for the existing budget. The following next month, you'll see those amendments done. With that being said, we're looking to be on target, to be within budget this year, which I know it's something that everyone's really concerned with. So it's looking good.
Good.
One of the things I'd like to point out is that today, it's not in this report, because today I received the legal bill for fiscal year, and it looks like we will be 8% under what we projected.
So let's go ahead and repeat that one more time, just for, so we're going to be under 8%
Yes.
of our projected,
90,000 on the budget. So,
yes, for 2017, yeah.
Correct. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to make a lot of people happy.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wow,
One
that's
of
great.
the things we also did in May was that we have a few B polls out there still outstanding, about 20 of them. What we did is the second round of delinquency letters. We informed the businesses that if they don't have a current with their BPOs participating in Haymarket Day, will not happen unless that's taken care of first. So nothing much more to report as of today. So.
Yeah,
Any
that's
questions
good.
for?
Good news. Anybody over on the?
Mr. Chairman? No questions for
Yep,
me?
good.
Like the happy news.
Yeah, that's good. And the fact that we're under budget. Yeah. Good. So the audit will take place between now and you start preparing for that?
Yes, I'm in discussions with Mary, the accountant. We have a meeting set up for August 10th and August 17th. I have not heard back from the auditor, but it's going to be maybe sometime in late August to September.
Okay.
So we are in work on the works for that, working up to that right now. So
Good.
we'll have some more changes in June. You'll see in the financials that we can discuss.
Okay, great. Good to hear. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay. Our next item is our town manager's report. And we are on page 28 in our packet.
The second bullet is the wall, Mr. Morris.
Yeah.
Did you read it?
Yeah.
Get to complain to the mayor.
Yes, you do.
Still
Yeah.
the,
No, well, she's very much acting manager, just not here physically. But yeah, pretty much up to date about on everything that's going on. So if you do have any questions, you can
There is a
definitely refer
comment.
me.
I got a question about how the ivy's going to grow in an urban desert, which is concrete
There's-
sidewalk and
Right.
concrete wall, and I don't.
Red clay.
Yeah, I have no idea
called
how.
drip
You know,
irrigation.
if that does not work, I have relatives that live in New Hampshire in a town called Newmarket. They have a similar type wall, and what they've done is they've painted a nice mural on that wall, which keeps the graffiti artists away, and it makes a nice statement to the town. So, there are other possibilities if the ivy doesn't work out. I've got ivy that will not die in my lawn, so we can probably
Could you
transplant
transplant it over there for us?
So,
Good to know. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, so
Yes,
I
sir.
understand that we've been going through dealing with VDOT on this. Have we reached out to Lane? Or it's deferred?
Well, I think it's like one of those things, what did the contract call for, you know? I'm just kind of surprised that, we didn't hear about this sooner, that out of all the plans that would have been presented to us years ago, that, that wall didn't just appear. That wall's always been on the plan.
Well,
It's just,
not to mention, even the ones right outside of town, they made nice looking to lead into the town, but the one that's actually in the town,
yeah.
they didn't do.
It's sort of what was
It's-
on the spec sheet. And, of course, looking at it, Vice Mayor's made a good point, we saved them, or say we saved, but we supported an idea that saved, was it, how many? $17 million off the budget to do this work, and to think that we just get a plain white concrete wall, gray, not even white. Yeah. So I know that Kimberly continues to reach out and have, to see if there's any other either funding. I mean, they came at a price tag. It'd be about $50,000-$60,000 that the town would like to pay for.
How much do we have left over from the legal bill?
I think that would be, yeah.
So is this considered to be a dead end dealing with VDOT, or?
No, I don't
No.
think so. I think we have a VDOT liaison, and I think we can start dealing with him.
Yeah.
So I'll work with Kimberly when she's coming back full time, and see if we can start a discussion at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Lane is involved in the conversations?
I'm not, of course, they're reacting to the contract. Yeah, they're
No,
Well, I know they met and
they're
talked
building-
about it two Tuesdays ago. Lane was involved in the conversation.
Right, but they have no authority, no power. They don't know-
Who's going to spend the money?
They're just following
Yeah.
the contract.
As of August 10th.
We built what, yep, we built what you said, and now you want to change it. Is basically it. It's just, you know.
If I read this properly, I think Kimberly was even saying that they couldn't do it, given the curing that they did with the wall.
It's not sealed.
Chemical curing.
Yeah, so nothing's going to stick, hopefully.
I bet graffiti would,
I know, that's right.
just saying.
So,
Don't
So
let
there
anyone
we
get
are.
any ideas.
I was just about to say, Chief's going to keep an eye on the ball
Yeah, watch it.
for, you know.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, still, I'm curious about the estimated target date for the total project costs under the town center. How long do we think that'll take? I know they said the final site plan review in August or September, but I would imagine they can do the estimating in parallel, right? So I'm just curious when we might see that.
Yeah, I didn't get a date, but I do know for a fact that that's in progress. That's in the works.
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll have Danielle follow up and send out to the council.
Well, we can wait till the next meeting. We can have that conversation with Kimberly, because I had some questions about the lease space and whether those opportunity costs are going to be in the calculation for the total cost of the building. So we'll have that conversation when we get going.
Okay.
Because we're using it, the idea is to use it as swing space upstairs, right?
Yes.
Essentially, so there's an opportunity cost or loss.
Right. Okay. Any further questions, comments? All right. Moving along. We have some appointments. Do the council liaison to the planning commission. Pardon me?
Should we defer it?
Should we defer it?
I'm wondering.
Well, how long is the term for? Do we know?
Well, it would be for the remaining, till July, it would be till the remaining of our term. So we're talking about,
1 year.
yeah, 1 year,
So there's a vacancy, what's happening?
yeah. So Councilman Leek would like to step down from the liaison to the planning commission. And looking for volunteers.
Volunteers?
Don't everybody jump.
Yeah.
I already have mine, sorry.
Yep, I was going to say, Councilman Edwards. Thoughts, discussions? Availability?
Crickets.
Yeah.
I'm
They-
looking to the left side over there.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. They meet once a month, ish. Well, do we want to get back to this? I mean,
When does it expire?
Does it have to be the same person? Or can we do, like, everybody take a turn? I'm just saying.
Well, you probably want to have somebody for continuity.
little continuity, yeah. I remember drawing the short straw in 2008, and I got appointed to the planning commission. Yeah, yeah.
So we could make a motion?
Yeah, I think that you definitely want to get the consent of the
When does the term expire?
1 year.
No, when?
June 30th.
So we can't wait until next month.
Well, the meeting already happened
Right.
for this month. Wow.
Well, yeah. Well, if we don't have any, you know, I mean, we can obviously just, if we don't have someone.
It's up to the mayor to do some strong arming.
Yeah, exactly. I'll definitely defer it till the next month and see what we have then. 'Cause it sounds like I don't have anybody.
And we
that-
have to, according to our, do we have to have a,
I'm not sure.
I don't know, without looking at your,
the charter?
your rules for the for the planning commission liaison. I'm not sure if that's a required position.
Okay.
I'd have to check.
Okay. It sounds like if we're not comfortable moving forward, then we will definitely just hold off and we'll check out that question and see.
That's a very good idea.
Okay, good deal. Our next item was a Finance Committee, either appointments or considerations. So right now, we're down to one council member. My suggestion to our town manager was just that, Roberto, you list once a month a date and time, and whatever council could make it, makes it for our finance. Probably it would be best to have it probably so many weeks prior to our meeting, right? So maybe, when did you all normally meet?
Usually it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks before. Roughly, well, after or before the next meeting, I mean, in the middle between the two meetings.
Okay,
Yeah, it was the middle of the month, and it was before the work session, because that's when we had work sessions, too.
right, okay. So with that, we'll just have you communicate when that will be, and let everybody know as soon as possible, and then who can make it, can make it. Great. Next item is our discussion. We've got one other revision that just came out because of the laws changing July 1st. So no one's really had a chance, I don't believe, to really fully review this. So my recommendation would be just to table it to our next regular town council meeting. And that way we could be able to fully look at it. Not
The
less.
electronic communication?
Yes, correct.
I do have a comment on
Yeah.
that. One of the reasons listed for doing this was that sometimes we have difficulty getting a quorum, but
This says we
all
can't.
of this says we have to have a quorum before you can have an electronic.
Right.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that's not the reason to adopt this. The reason to adopt this would be so that we could all participate, not to establish a quorum.
Correct. Yeah.
But if you're not present, does that mean you can vote? Can you vote?
It's a legal question.
Yeah, I mean, the statute is providing for how you would remotely participate in a meeting under certain circumstances, but you have to satisfy the conditions in the statute. Just so you're aware, the main changes from the 2017 legislative amendments were the removal of the word emergency before the personal matter. So that's why in the proposed draft that we sent, all the references to emergency are taken out, and there's nothing for an unexpected situation. So you want the language to track what's in the statute, which is either a personal matter or a temporary or permanent disability or other medical condition. The only other big change from the 2017 legislative amendments was the part of the statute that it used to say such participation by the member shall be limited each calendar year to 2 meetings or 25% or whichever's 25% of meetings, whichever is fewer. They struck that last part about the 25%. So it now says such participation by the member shall be limited each calendar year to 2 meetings. Now, query whether that means whether a member who perhaps is on more than one, because you've got this applying to your council and your boards, whether that would mean that, right, for each meeting. So that's something we might want to think about depending on how you all want to deal with that. But we might want to clarify that a little further even then in the draft we sent you, just so that you just want it to be clear whatever the right answer is, because you don't want people asking questions and not knowing how to apply it later.
Right. Okay. Very good.
Yeah,
Vice
just
Mayor.
a couple comments about this. I did a little bit of research, talked to a couple of different communities, and as a matter of fact, Vienna is thinking about adopting a resolution, or at least they'll be debating and discussing it tonight. They're only doing it for the council, whereas we're proposing or looking at possibly doing it for all the boards. One of my questions was going to be, so for instance, the Finance Committee, if we have 3 members of council at the Finance Committee, that becomes a public meeting, right? So what if that 4th person wants to be there but couldn't be there? So do we want to even push it down further into the committee level? I know we've had some discussions about that in the past, and basically we weren't allowed to remote participate, if I remember. That was a couple of years ago. There was a couple of situations where Steve or I couldn't make the committee meeting. So that's one thing that kind of, Middleburg, I think they have something in their charter now that they've changed to adopt this. Purcellville doesn't have it. A couple other communities, of course, the counties don't have it. And some of the arguments were, well, you want to have people present there, so they can hear everything. I think it's going to be pretty challenging for any of us who is on the phone to be fully heard and understood, and vice versa. The other question I had we have to look at, there's two others. One of them is the FOIA. The FOIA has come out with a guidance document on that, and so town attorney and I were just talking about that prior to the meeting, and we would have to see if that's been updated based on the 2017 legislative update, and perhaps we should use that to crosswalk to what we want to do to make sure that we're within the parameters of what they recommend. The other one I just forgot, but it has to do, and I'll come back to it, but those are some of the things I think we need to think about going forward.
Yes, I think that definitely, maybe we do strike out unappointed boards and just allow each of the boards to adopt their own resolution. But, Councilman Aiken.
Councilman Passanello makes a good point that I wanted to bring up, is that I don't think we are technologically prepared for this. If we're going to do it, we need to do it right. And I think there's going to be some sort of expense to equip us properly so that not only can the person at home hear everybody, but the people here can hear that person also. That what we have here is going to be inadequate for doing this.
Right.
And I have no idea what sort of cost it would be to properly do this, but it won't be cheap.
Well, yeah, you bring up a good point. I wrote down hear and be heard, and that's the clearest part. And you're right, whether or not it's a Polycom or a Clear One or some type of electronic equipment that would obviously attach to a phone line. I'm not sure, obviously, visual is that important, but that clearly that you can.
Well, theoretically, visually, they can log into
Yes.
the streaming video if they're capable of doing, if they're not traveling or in a hotel room where they can't do it, I don't know.
Yeah.
So audio, definitely, but I wouldn't worry about the video. Just getting good audio is going to be difficult enough.
Yeah, yeah. We deal with that at our work, and I think that, Polycoms have been around for a while, but
So even adopting this is not the end of it.
Right. We'd have to
Well,
have
we
it.
should, I would even say we ought to do a dry run before we even adopt it to see how well it works. Because once we adopt it, then we have to make it work.
Steve will volunteer.
Well, I mean, one of us could walk out to the parking lot with a cell phone and, see if we have a speaker system that we can even tie into to do this, because you guys have no idea how we would do this, right? Okay.
Yep.
You have to get a consultant in here that knows that type of stuff, and it's not going to be cheap to add some sort of capability to, let's just say it's a Polycom that ties into these speakers here and that one there. That might be a simplistic approach, but even that, tying into a current system with another system is not necessarily designed to do that, and balancing it and all that. It requires a professional, not just somebody off the street to slap it in.
Yeah. We don't want to hear the reverb.
Mr. Mayor, I think the only time that we've seen the need for it in the last few years is when there is a vote and there's the need for a council member to air their position on it.
Right.
And one of the ways that we've avoided it is that absent councillor has sent in a written email that one of the other council members read it aloud, which I think has more effect than to hear them on the phone.
But you can't, the problem, you can't vote.
You can't vote,
Yeah, that's
but
the problem.
But the issue is the person still has a voice. They still have a voice on the dais.
Yeah, that was going to be, that's a good point, Chris. That was going to be one of my questions. Do we want to do it for the entire meeting? I mean, because I've seen other communities outside the state that have remote participation, and they may do it for one specific item. That's maybe.
Contentious specific.
You're right. So that's something else we might want to think about as we develop the.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, absolutely. So we'll table this, and we'll see if we can do some research and get back. We'll put it for next month's agenda. Our updates, unfortunately, we don't have our Planning Commission update this evening, but we do have our ARB.
The ARB meeting this month is canceled due to the fact that there are no applications. Woo!
When's the last time that happened?
It's never happened.
I don't ever remember.
In recorded history.
I don't ever remember. There's always something.
Yeah.
Too late.
That gives you
The
spare time.
deadline has
That gives you
passed.
spare time for planning commission, doesn't it?
Stop. There are, moving on, there are a few issues with items that have been brought to Steve's attention, things that have not been applied for, sheds, things in town, so he's following up on those issues. And we're just waiting for all this road work to be done so we can move forward with some new entry signs into town. So
Okay.
that's about it.
All right, our other one was update on the proposed zoning map. I think, speaking to the town manager, we're going to put this back on staff to allow them to properly look at this. I had owners call me regarding some of the split decisions, for example, Don over at Century Stair, just how he has two properties and how this will affect, sort of the same similarity of the comments we were getting the other night. But if there's no objection, I'm going to put this back onto staff to investigate this and bring something to the council to consider. Things that I didn't see on here was our VRE update. I don't think there's anything else to talk about with that. Dominion Power, I'm not sure.
To talk about there.
Yeah, if everybody saw the Washington Post article, which I thought pretty good article, considering it.
Isn't it amazing that now all of a sudden it's in the Washington Post that it's
Yeah.
done?
Well, actually, no, they were there at the beginning. There was a couple of articles.
Yeah, but they even put a little disclaimer on the article, just how.
And I saw an email from the coalition.
Yesterday, I think it was, or over the weekend, was
Yeah, I
it?
didn't
Yes.
get a chance. I was busy doing some other work. So do you know what was in it?
It was
or-
just reiterating to send your comments. They had that link a couple weeks ago where you could just send the email stating that still the only thing we agree on is 66 and underground. It was another letter, just reminding that the deadline was today, tomorrow, I don't know.
So what's the status?
They're
It's
going
gonna be
for
on
the
Carver Road?
Carver Road
That's
is
it, and there's no,
There-
county can't come back?
the next plan. We actually spoke to the folks at Dominion out in the parking lot, and their next thing is doing the land takes, making offers, surveying the property, seeing what part of the parcel will be affected by this, making the offers, doing the surveys, and then if they don't agree, then trying to go into
Litigation,
court.
I guess,
Yeah.
So how many years away are we from seeing the first?
I don't know. They didn't think it was, wasn't going to take that long as they push this thing through
There
now.
was a caveat in there that they're supposed to make the towers
Dull.
less
Chemical
offensive
dulling. Yeah.
to the
Less
environment.
offensive.
Has the county
What does that
approved or not approved, or still has to do something to the substation?
No
That
permit yet,
application hasn't been,
that we know of.
I don't think the application is in yet, so they have not applied for that,
For the substation.
for the substation, is my
Suffice
understanding.
it to say, I think there is a lot of strategizing going on out there, and we're not
So-
really familiar with a lot of the things that people are willing or wishing to do in the future.
In
Yep.
order for the construction to start, does the substation have to be there to go to?
I don't know.
Probably not. It's a risk,
That
but
they
it
bring
may
the
not
power
have to
in
be
there.
there.
I don't think any of us know any of these answers.
Yep. Yeah, so that's it for the Dominion, I think, update. Why don't we go ahead and knock out council member time while we're here, and then we'll go into closed session. Councilman Cole?
Yeah, just quickly, we've already talked about the speed table. I think that was a great little coup. And again, coup. And again, thanks to Pete Canlin for funding that. And I think I'm still going to ask for another traffic study in the fall just to verify if it has, how much it has slowed down traffic. And that's all I've got.
Okay, Councilwoman Edwards.
Nothing.
Councilman Aiken.
Nothing.
Councilman Morse.
Thank you, sir. I just want to publicly thank the staff for holding on the fort in the absence of the town manager.
Yeah.
And hope and pray for a speedy recovery from her. You guys have been doing good.
Yep, absolutely.
Good job.
Vice Mayor.
Yeah, just to piggyback on what Denise said earlier about Tanvi. The next meeting is in Vienna. I had an opportunity to talk to the mayor today, and we're all invited. She'd like to see everybody there if we could, because it's going to be at their new community center. If you remember, they were building that. So she's very excited about that.
Do you know the date?
I don't know, but
These invites, you know how we used to get the invites? The Outlook invites for the calendar? Remember those things?
anyway. Right.
Okay.
So. Okay. So, you know.
Are they
and-
quarterly, right?
Yeah.
They are quarterly. Vienna and Percival's going back and forth. Who's going to do the meeting? So now that we
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, and July 15th, the afternoon. I think as many people as can show up would be great. School of Rock. I'm going to be there, hopefully.
I'll be out of town.
Don't wear a bandana, please.
Oh, I might. Okay. Bring my guitar. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Nothing for me as well. Okay, Councilman Weeks. So, yes, yep, yeah. Make sure I got everybody. I know. I forgot you, I think, last time. So if you could bring us into closed session.
The form of the motion is I move that council convene in closed session for consultation with legal counsel about the pending case of Contrusi versus Town of Haymarket, as permitted by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A7, and for council to discuss or consider a personnel matter involving salary or other compensation of a specific employee as permitted by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1, for which the Virginia Freedom of Information Act permits discussion in closed session.
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion on the motion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous. All right, we should be back shortly.
Council member time already.
All right, we're going to call our meeting back to order. Could I have a form of the motion
Form
for
of the motion
certification?
is I move that the council certify that in the closed session just concluded, nothing was discussed except the matter specifically identified in the motion to convene in closed session and lawfully permitted to be discussed under the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act cited in that motion.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Aye. Yes.
And yes. Wait, that's okay. We're good. Great. We're done?
Move to adjourn.
There we go.
Second.
The Vice Mayor, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all.